Hi everyone, I'm Styleboy, and recently I went to LA all by myself and it was amazing, and it's so sad coming back here and it's just rain. We are here to talk about the flying experience and being autistic because this was my first time ever flying solo. And so, granted, I know I'm gonna do these more and I'm definitely gonna learn more from them, but I just wanted to sit down and like speak about it. Speak about my experiences, some tips, some tricks and everything like that. So basically, if you're autistic and you're thinking about flying solo, it becomes less intimidating and way more easier. So let us begin, bitch. Get the exciting thing. You booked your tickets to fly somewhere. Oh my God, isn't it exciting? Like whether you're going with like a group of friends or you're flying out by yourself and you're doing a solo vacation or you're meeting somewhere in a different country. You have booked the tickets. Well done. I'm very proud of you. This is an adult thing to do. And so you did it. You did it. Let us first start off with what I did was actually, I basically tried to look onto where the aircraft company website. What do you call it? I don't know the name. The flight people? What's the name? Airline. Why did it take so long for me to get to it? The airline's website to look for anything to do with special assistance. That is my tip number one. Look onto that because it will have different ways to help. So for example, not just for like me who has like autism or anything like that. People who have a physical disability, people who have like a guided dog that needs to be with them or a service animal and so many other different like specialties that you need help with. They will have it there. Now for being autistic, I think they get like a little if I remember correctly, like an email link. I flew with Virgin, by the way, on the way there. And so I did go and email them basically saying like, hi, I'm autistic, and kind of gave them a mini rundown of things that I think I like. Let me see if I can find the email. I found the email respond, but not my email. But I must have just said that like, I'm autistic and this is my first time flying, which I definitely mentioned. And if there was anything that like they could help with or that they know. So they sent this like really long email. Okay. They were like, thank you for making us aware that you're autistic. There's a couple of things we can suggest to make your journey as smooth as possible. Sunflower lanyard. Now, I think this was the last video I spoke about my sunflower lanyard and how like, I was like, I don't really know the difference. This is where it comes in hand, maybe. They suggested to wear this because it's the way that the cabin crew and the people on like the airport know that you are autistic and therefore can kind of help or guide you through certain different things and make it less intimidating, which I will say definitely did help, which I'll get onto how the aircraft and how actually going through the airport physically was, but I will say did massively help. Number two, the Virgin Atlantic symbol. Now they did have a symbol which directs to their staff alone. It's supposed to be more discreet if you don't wear the lanyard. You can either get it as a pin or you can print it off with like your documents. I printed it off with my documents. I did both because I'm extra. Prior to arriving to the airport, which this is very normal now, check in 24 hours before your flight departs. I did this for both on the way there and on the way back, because on the way back I flew with Delta. Boarding, so basically if you need to have extra time to get on the flight, you can be one of the first people to get on it if you have extra time. For me, I did this. I'll explain how that went, but it really did help. Spoiler. The other option they also said is that you can board when everyone else is boarded, so you'll be the last person, so you can get on by yourself. Just wait until everyone does that. But personally, I prefer to go on first. And then they suggested other things to do with the US, which I'll get onto as well, which included calling Delta. I did not do that. And also TSA about if there's any accommodations needed for the security check, which is the part that I find the most intimidating.
She's so brave, she's well behaved, she is not afraid.
That's all the background info. I did my thing, I packed up, I got ready to leave for LA and I was so excited, and my parents dropped me off at the airport. It was very emotional. I think my mum was crying. I got very emotional. It was a time. Basically, we got at the airport. I flew via Heathrow. That's it. So the first thing I noticed was wearing this. So I kind of wore this around my entire flight. So at least the people in the UK kind of knew I had a hidden disability. So what they did is that they guided me for bag drop-off / check-in at the regular queue. I got a different queue, which was basically for special assistance. Basically, it's a shorter queue. I think I literally waited for one extra person ahead of me and then I was next. I asked where things were. They also said that like when it came to doing the security check, like to go in a separate queue or a separate line because you have these like helps and everything like that. And honestly, I felt really like calmed and a lot more prepared to do it by myself because they were really sweet and kind, and I was like, yay, I can do this by myself. So I felt really, really good, and I felt very much like comfortable. Next came the security check, which honestly, I feel like this was the part I always just dreaded the most. I hate security checks. Like, because the one thing that I really don't like is that someone I don't know touching me. Even if I have nothing on me, it just petrifies me. And I've had a really bad experience when I was younger, when I was flying. It puts me on edge a bit. So I did wait in a separate queue, like to go in, but as soon as security checks came in, I ended up going in with everyone else, so it kind of lost its point. It was kind of busy. Security check stuff didn't have to be touched in any single way, but it was kind of one of the experiences where it was a bit like, because I worked myself up so much because I was so nervous about it, that once I left and immediately went into duty free, it was like, oh my god, it was kind of like a whiplash kind of thing, which I really was just I think affected me more than I thought. So I think next time I want to figure out a way to make security check less intimidating. So if anyone's like flown solo who are neurodiversity or anything like that, any ways to help with security check, please tell me down below because I'm still learning about that stuff. Went into the airport. Now comes my favorite part, the shopping. Although again, as I said, I was immediately thrown in from security check straight into duty free, and so it was like boom, sensory overload, so many people like around me. It was just so intense, and I just really was overloaded. And well, I did, at least on the way there, I didn't mention this, but I think Virgin advised you to come like 3 hours early to your flight, so I did. And even with everything being a lot smoother, I still came early, which actually was a benefit. I was able to get my bearings of the security middle bit. It wasn't very big, that's the thing. What I did, which I actually thought this was a really good idea, was just to walk around the thing. Like, I think I must have done like a proper walk around at least 3 or 4 times, and I think for each go I did something different. Granted, this was just me killing time, but also this at least got my bearings and helped me calm down. There was just so much to look at, so many different things. So first round, I think I literally just walked around to understand where everything is, to see where all the shops are, to see where the food places are, and just to get my bearings so I can understand what everything is. But it was good to at least understand where I was looking and everything like that. It actually really helped me a lot. I could see my flight number and everything like that, so I knew where to look at. So it made me feel better. So then, my second time around, I started to play a little bit. Ooh. So this is when I started to go into like duty free a little bit more and started like swatching and playing with makeup. So what I did was that I went back to WH Smith. So from WH Smith, because what I like to do every single time I fly is that I like to buy magazines. It's like my tradition, it's my thing, okay? I made sure I got myself a magazine. And let me tell you what I got. Oh, so I got Rolling Stones magazine because I think like Anne's in this and I got to support my queen. And then I got, which is a bit ironic because I was going to the US, and I brought GQ US. You know, we do what we do. And then actually lastly, because I saw my friend B hype this book, so I actually brought Holiday Read, which is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I did not read this. Really excited to get into this after I finished my gay werewolf book, Twilight Who. And then I actually think the next thing I got was water from Boots. And because I'm smart, I actually used my Boots points to get it for free. And that's my actually other tip, is to buy water and buy drinks for the flight. I was just looking everywhere. I saw the most gorgeous Dior bag ever, and it was sparkly. I saw a gorgeous Louis Vuitton. And then I think the third time I went round, that's when I got my food. So I just kind of did a proper look into beauty. I just kind of looked everywhere again. I can really entertain myself by just looking at shops. Also, my aim was to try and not waste my battery as much as possible because I did not realize there was in-flight entertainment. I'll get onto that soon also. And this is also the time where I actually got food for myself. So on the flight there, I got 2 snacks and I got food to eat right before I flew. And my tip also is to buy food for the flight. I got my peach iced tea, I got my big ass water bottle. I was great. And I feel like that's something I definitely learned, is to bring water and snacks onto the flight, because A, you're gonna have them regardless. Especially if you're going for such a long at time flight. I really need to make sure I ate. And I know they were gonna give us food, but I just wanted to make sure regardless. So I did. I brought myself some food, got myself some drinks. And so when my gate was called, I did feel ready to go. So I immediately went to my gate, and then came the nice experience of being let on first. Now, there wasn't many of us. I think there was what, like 3 of us who was let on first. Someone who was in a wheelchair, me, and then someone with anxiety. The woman complimented my jacket, because I was wearing my red jacket, and I was like, ooh, thanks. I got to sit down early, and it was so weird to see like the plane empty and just me. It was glorious. I loved it. So I got to like put everything I needed to put underneath me, and like what I need to organize to go like on me. I could like put anything that was next to me without someone sitting there, because basically on a long time flight they give you like a pillow, blankets, anything like that. So I managed to put it to the seat next to me, organize where I was, and then put that stuff back on my desk. And I think the one thing that made this easier is like, honestly, the staff was just really friendly. They kept on checking in on me, and it just made me feel better, you know? Another tip, I forgot to say, book your seat before you fly, because it's, well, A, you have that not annoying gamble of like, oh my God, I gotta try and figure out where I'm gonna sit. But secondly, you can choose your preference of seat. For me, I am a window seat person. As much as I do need to pee, I'm always a window seat person, because I'm able to like look out the sky and see the views, which gets me excited. Chill, very relaxed. And when we flew up to the air, it was cool. And again, I didn't realize this. I was convinced that we weren't getting a screen. We got a screen. Both Virgin and Delta had a lot of movies. I think I watched 4 movies, and they also gave you food and gave you an option of food, which was really good. I think both times I got the veggie option. I feel like flight food, they were pretty decent, I have to say. So I think on the way to LA, I think we got food, we got like an actual meal, and then I think I got a scone as well as a snack. I ate that scone right up, munch munch. I constantly asked for water. The one thing that saved my ass during this flight, because I only slept for 2 hours, was in-flight entertainment. Oh my God, again, as I said, I watched 4 different movies. So I watched Puss in Boots and Last Wish, because any chance I get to see that movie again, I will happily. I then saw Carmen, the 2023 one with the girl who's in Scream and In the Heights, and the guy who's in After Sun and Normal People. I am forgetting their names. The movie was very melodramatic, but I have to say it's actually pretty good. Then I watched Polite Society. When I tell you Polite Society changed my life. That movie is incredible. Go and see Polite Society. And then I watched the Super Mario Brothers movie, which was fine. It's just not a movie for me. And then I listened to music on the way down, and it was glorious. It was a great time, I have to say. Like, entertainment kept me through because a bitch could not sleep. So when I got to LA, I was like full of beans. But actually, another tip, if you end up buying over-the-ear headphones, or if your headphones come with it, if they come with a wire, bring the wire. Because honestly, like, they have the headphones they supply, but they're crap. So if you end up having headphones, you can connect it to the wire and at least have a bit better sound quality. And it did improve, and so it helped me with like not hearing the plane. But I did try sleeping with my headphones on, at least on the way there. It wasn't very good. Just overall, I could not sleep, and that's like a tip I would kind of say. I guess it kills time, especially if you're doing like a long flight. Try and get some sleep. So mine just ended up being naps. Of course, you have to make sure you have the right paperwork also, so make sure you check about that, depending on where you're flying. So I waited in that queue, got my stuff, smoothest experience ever. I literally just picked up my suitcase, but got picked up from my boyfriend, and then I experienced 2 weeks of bliss. I'm not kidding you, I really loved LA overall, and I really want to go back. I want to go back so badly. There was just so much that I did and I thoroughly enjoyed, like Beverly Hills, Malibu. I went to San Francisco while I was there. I did some shopping, got to do a road trip with my boyfriend. Honestly, it was an incredible time and I loved it. On the way back, so as I said, on the way back I flew with Delta, and I did not email them about disability thingies, which was my fault, but also my curiosity kind of peaked and I was like, I just want to know. I'm curious, okay? I have to know what it's like. Went into LAX. Very spacious, let me just say. The nice thing about LAX is that you can do your own, again, I checked in early, but you can do your own check-in and bag drop-off, which is genius. I couldn't do that though. So I had to go to someone like and ask me like, hi, like I'm not able to do that. He says, oh, you're international, so that's why. So I had to go off and do the bag drop off. Again, only one in the queue. So I went straight up, did it, and I was like smooth as cake. Then went to do security. Another one where the queues weren't very big. There was like, what, like 1 or 2 people in front of me. Did the thingy, I asked questions. So it was a little easier and it felt less intimidating. I did have to get searched because someone had to search me here and touch me there to lift my lanyard up. He seemed nice. I still felt, I was like, ooh. And honestly, the other good thing about like US flights, which I did not realize was a thing, US flights, they tell you what gate you're at. My flight got delayed 50 minutes, so, and they messaged me before I even got there. Because I know that UK airports would be like, you're literally at the airport, like, you're delayed, deal with it. Because of the delay, I ended up getting to the airport 2 hours early, which is good. But I didn't expect everything to go so quick. So that was quick, that was smooth, that was easy, loved it. I will say LAX took forever to walk around because my gate was at one end and all the shops and everything was on the right other. So I walked all the way over. My dumbass didn't get water, so I ended up having a very dry throat. Again, was able to let on because I asked about it. So went on early, got to my seat, get my window seat. Again, I checked in online 24 hours before, so that was a piece of cake. Yeah, again, I didn't really notice that much difference. It was more just like, it felt easier to ask Virgin for help, I will say, versus Delta. Also, one of the Delta people for the bag check-in was like, you look like a dancer. I was like, ah! Got a meal option again. And then we also got breakfast while we were there. It was the blandest thing I ever tasted. But the smart thing is, me and my friend Issa, before we left, we got some snacks, honey. So I had those, fell asleep for 5 hours. So that was amazing. And this time I watched 3 movies. I watched The Book of Life because the day I left was the Day of the Dead. So I was like, I have to watch something to celebrate. Loved it. I've seen the movie before. It's super cute. Then I was kind of falling asleep. So I kind of slept for, I think I might have slept for 4 hours. And then woke up and I was like, well, I'm kind of still a bit sleepy, but I don't know what to do. So then I watched Big Hero 6, which if you know, that's one of my favorite Disney movies. Was kind of drifting in and out. And then I watched Theatre Camp. I didn't manage to finish it because I should have started the movie earlier. But Theatre Camp was camp. It's camp looking it in the face. I loved it. I probably would have become a theatre kid if I actually watched it. And so yeah, honestly, that was chill. Both flights were really good, I have to say. Very little complaints. Then on the way back, instead of doing security, luckily they had the electronic one. So that part went so smooth. I was like, damn. However, picking up my luggage was a fucking chaos. So on the way there was like no one there. I don't know if this is normal or not in the US, so any of my US peeps, please comment. Like, people were just taking off the luggage, off the thingy, which was weird. I mean, I managed to find it really quickly. I just literally picked up and then left. On the way back, there was like 7 other flights. Maybe not 7. I think there was definitely like a lot. I think it was must have been 3 or 4. Just waiting at the conveyor belt, so it was crammed, busy. And so again, half-phased me, I actually felt really tired on this one. Having to navigate through all these people, it was a nightmare. So I mean, I managed to pick up my case, but it was trying to find a gap just to like get into to pick it up.
Oh my God, this is Jennifer's a nightmare. Jennifer's a nightmare we can't wake up from.
Madness. And then I went on public transport home and it took forever. But you know what? I did it and now I'm back in the UK. And that's my flying experience, flying solo. I just wanted to kind of just state everything that I kind of went through and kind of learn with some couple of tips. I know this was very chatty. Yeah, I really hope you did enjoy this video and I hope that it helps you as an autistic person or as a neurodiverse person understand the flying experience. I will see you guys next week from the Novum video. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment and share. You know the drill. Again, I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.